And we're back. More Lonzo Ball talk, because we can never escape Lonzo Ball. It's just never going to happen. I've kind of learned that. Celtics beat the Lakers 107-96 last night. Lonzo Ball shooting 4 for 15, 9 points. And Kyrie played some good defense, but so did Lonzo, because Lonzo kept Kyrie 7 for 21 shooting, 19 points. Definitely wasn't a point guard battle, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But the Celtics keep on winning, even without Gordon Hayward. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have a lot to do with that. They've been really, really good filling in those minutes. Mm-hmm. And now with Markieff Morris back, it's just getting better and better for the Celtics.
Yeah, I think so too. The big difference is actually Kyrie Irving. To be honest, he's their number one scorer now that Gordon Hayward is out. Even though Kyrie Irving still plays a better role, and they actually played without Al Horford today as well. Yesterday as well. Aaron Baines picked up 21 points and got most in the game.
And Aaron Baines is one of those secret players for the Spurs on the championship teams that no one really appreciated what he did out there. But when he came in to play his minutes, he got his clutch rebounds, he got those clutch layups, and Aaron Baines, really good defender as well. So I think it was a good pickup for the Celtics, and didn't get enough love in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. To be honest, he's not going to play a bigger role that Al Horford is. I think he's out day to day. I'm not too sure about that. But yeah. The thing about I just want to say something a little about Alonzo. Just to say that he's kind of like on and off with his performances.
Well, I mean, his jump shot seems to always be off.
Oh, don't get me wrong. He has like one of the funky shots in the NBA. I wouldn't compare him to Sean Marion. Don't get me wrong, but no,
Sean Marion's more of a push forward, while Alonzo's more of a pull back to the right and shoot. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone has their own unique way of shooting, but still, like, I don't know. We'll see how he does. I mean, right now he's not doing too bad. He's averaging like 10 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. Obviously, that's not bad, but I want to see more out of him. And actually, the thing about that is that I think his father tweeted out that he should get more minutes, and Luke Walton actually gave him 38 minutes.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if that was an influence or anything like that. What do you think?
LeVar's always an influence. Anything he does, he's gonna get what he wants, and it shouldn't be that way. But he has so much. He makes people motivated to do things, and that's not even the right word. But basically, he has the power to change something, even though he shouldn't. Mm-hmm. That's the way LeVar's always been. I mean, throughout high school, I've heard, obviously we saw it at UCLA, Magic Johnson, we've seen him change the way he practiced because of LeVar. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Lonzo, I think, is he's not that bad at passing, and he's not that bad at rebounding. He's actually pretty good. The shooting's a problem, and I don't think he's the best rookie on his own team, because Kyle Kuzma out of Utah has been extremely good off the bench.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he got picked like, what, the 27th or something like
somewhere
that.
late in the first round, yeah.
Late in the first round, and he got no love when he came to the team.
Not at all.
No one knew who he was. Once preseason started, he started to go off like crazy with Lonzo, and right now he's like averaging like 15 points and 8 rebounds.
Yeah,
like,
and LeVar saying that Lonzo should get more minutes. Well, Lonzo's minutes been going down because Kuzma's been kind of taking some of those minutes and playing more.
Yep.
And obviously the two like each other. You saw them practicing together in Lakers facility, the one-on-one. I don't know if you saw that video.
I remember seeing that.
Lonzo actually won that one-on-one and proved he could shoot when it doesn't matter. But the jump shot works. It just doesn't work in games yet.
Yep. I mean, he'll develop. It's just, again, both of them are into their rookie season, so it's time. It's the transition from college to the NBA is always a challenge.
If I've learned one thing over the years, is that you can tweak a jump shot, you can tweak the way you pass the ball, you can tweak the way you see people on the court. You can't tweak leadership. Mm-hmm. You either have it or you don't.
Yep.
And Lonzo Ball has it. Even if it's a quiet type of leadership, as I said before, he's a natural leader on the court. People like playing with him. He gets people in the right spots. With his eyes, not with his mouth.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
That's definitely true. I agree with that 100%, man.
I mean, Lonzo Ball, I like the guy. I'm not going to down him. And I think that in the future, he's going to be a superstar. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the other side of the Celtic trade, since we talked about Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas went to the Cleveland Cavaliers and obviously hasn't played yet, probably won't play till mid-season. Mm-hmm. Well, Cleveland struggled, and I don't know if it's because of Thomas and Kyrie leaving, probably. But that's no excuse, honestly, the way they've played.
Yeah, no, they have just been playing terrible defense, and they've been losing to bad teams, and I feel like they have the potential to beat those teams. They lost to Brooklyn, they lost to Atlanta, two teams that are on the bottom level of the conference. Like, how could you lose to those teams?
No, crazy.
Especially the Hawks. The Hawks barely have any team, have no one. But probably says like Dennis Schroeder and probably Kent Bazemore, but that's pretty much it.
And Luke Babbitt shot really well. That's about it. But what's it called? What you said is true, though. They lose to all these bad teams. And the stat is they're 5-6 this year, but they're 5-1 against teams with winning records, and they're 0-6 against everyone else.
I don't get that. You see what I mean? Like, I don't get why are they losing so badly to these teams.
And the only team they lost to with a winning record was the Knicks. And can we really say they're a winning team? They've been playing well, but they haven't played anyone.
No, and especially just to talk about that, they lost without Kristaps Porzingis. If they did have Porzingis, then it would have been a different story. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just to go back with the Cavs, like they need to improve. Like LeBron, like I feel like LeBron has to average like 30 points a game to actually get them win.
That's the problem. LeBron's averaged 30 a game and 9 assists per game the whole entire year, and it hasn't been enough. If that's not enough, what's gonna be enough? Isaiah Thomas probably, but I feel like we talk about this every year with the Cavaliers, where they start slow and then they get going, and then the playoffs hit. No matter what seed they are, they're making the championship.
But then the thing is, why would they start? Why would they start off like
because
so
it's the regular
badly?
season, and I feel like they don't exactly care. I mean, caring might be the wrong word, because obviously you're gonna care, you're gonna try to win games, but the effort is not there every single game for 82 games. Obviously, you're not allowed to sit your players anymore on the bench. They made a rule against that.
Yeah,
they used to do that a lot last year. The Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not giving 100% effort every single game. Once it hits the playoffs, they will.
It's just that I hope it doesn't come long term where they're gonna be like in the low seed. I mean, honestly, don't get me wrong. I agree with you saying like, oh, they're still gonna make the playoffs no matter what. LeBron James could probably carry his team, to be honest, like how he has before. But I don't know. It's just so mediocre to see them losing like this badly to some of these teams.
Tristan Thompson is a really, really key piece of this team, and he's out with injury right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he started the season the way he did, you can't do that if you're Tristan Thompson. He wasn't rebounding, he wasn't shooting, and that's been his story on this team for about 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan Thompson's the heart and the soul of this team. He's been here longer than anyone else now that Kyrie's gone. Where is Tristan Thompson? When he comes back from injury, you need the old Tristan Thompson back, because even when Isaiah Thomas comes back, without Tristan Thompson getting those big minutes off the bench, without him producing, I don't think you make the championship.
Well, then what's up with Kevin Love then? Like
Kevin Love played his best game ever the last game.
Mm-hmm.
He was, and I don't mean stat-wise, I mean like effort-wise. Even when he was on the Timberwolves, that was the most effort I've ever seen out of Kevin Love in his last game.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. It's just been so mediocre. I don't get it. I really don't get it. For this team to have many star players on the team. You got Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, who got injured. Derrick Rose who's injury prone. You got LeBron James, who's like been the best player, who was one of the best players in the league. You got Kevin Love, who can put up double-digit points and rebounds. Their bench is pretty decent as well. I just don't know why they.
Well, their bench is a retirement home with Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose. That's the problem. I mean, they're two guys who they're kind of shells themselves at this point. D. Rose is still getting hurt to this day. Maybe they're not serious injuries, and they're day-to-day. He comes back, he gets hurt again. That's Derrick Rose at this point in his career, and Dwayne Wade really has shelled himself right now.
Yeah, and he even said himself, "I'm coming off the bench. He's not starting, and then just let J.R. Smith be the starting shooting guard over him."
And J.R. Smith, I've always had a problem with, because he's the kind of guy where LeBron, who's playing point guard right now, which is crazy, LeBron could find J.R. Smith wide open 3 times in a row, and he's going to miss all 3 shots.
Yeah, because
and then later in the quarter, he's going to have 3 guys on him. He's going to spin around, make some ridiculous shot.
Yeah,
because that's what J.R. Smith is. He's a bad ball shooter.
Well, I could say he's streaky, but I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good shooter, but he's just like he takes a lot of bad shots. Like, you've seen him.
No, but the thing is with J.R. Smith, he makes his bad shots and he misses good ones.
I don't get that too. Like,
it's crazy.
That
he's a circus act on the court, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And it's kind of the way his personality works off the court as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a circus act. Always will be, always has been. One more thing to look at in basketball. Obviously, a big trade happened, the Eric Bledsoe trade. Eric Bledsoe sent to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for a first-round pick, 2018, and Greg Monroe, a guy who he's been playing minutes for the Phoenix Suns. My bad. He was playing minutes for the Bucks, but now he's going to the Suns, and he's probably not going to get a lot of minutes because he's going into a rotation with a lot of big men. Marquise Chris is another guy. He's been playing big men for the Suns. I don't think Monroe cuts into that too much.
Mm-hmm.
And, Monroe's not really a big part of this trade. It's basically a first-round pick for Eric Bledsoe. And that's not enough value in return for Eric Bledsoe when that's going to be a late first-round pick. The only thing is, Eric Bledsoe was sitting on the bench. He wasn't playing this year because he had really bad disputes with the Suns. You had to move him. You just didn't get enough.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for the Suns to. Obviously, it took them years to. They were actually thinking of trading Bledsoe for years. It was a lot of trade rumors of where he was going to go after he came to the Suns from the Clippers. So honestly, I don't know how this is going to go. I feel like he's going to have a better role in Milwaukee anyway with Giannis and Chris Middleton and Malcolm Brogdon. But we'll see how many minutes he actually plays. Just to talk about Greg Monroe, the Phoenix Suns is actually going to try to either trade or waive Greg Monroe. I think all the Suns wanted to do is just get rid of salary cap. They're trying to get the Suns are actually trying to target Jahlil Okafor from the 76ers.
That'd be interesting.
So
he's another guy where he does not get along with that organization.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get a lot of minutes as well either because
they don't like him. He was in trouble with the police last year for something. Was it a DUI?
Yeah, that's true. I forget.
I think it was a DUI, and Jahlil Okafor never came back from that.
Mm-hmm.
The 76ers kind of gave up on him, and now they've been trying to move him just as long as the Suns try to trade Bledsoe.
Mm-hmm.
And Bledsoe's a guy I've always liked. The guy when I was a Clipper fan, he backed up Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good off the bench. He's a guy I was really upset when he moved the first time. This is a different story. He did not get along with the Suns. The Suns didn't get along with him. He had to go. And the Phoenix Suns, they're a team where they're probably going to get a lottery pick. Where do you think they go with that? A guard, or they don't really need a guard. They have Devin Booker, I guess, to replace Bledsoe, but Mike James has been kind of doing that.
I don't know who could they actually use. I mean, Mike James has been doing really well for the team. He's been. I think he was like a late round draft pick as well. He seems kind of underrated, but I think he's a pretty good player. They got Devin Booker, who's been their efficient scorer.
Yeah.
They
need a lot after that.
I don't think they really need. I think they may need like a power forward or a center. They probably need a big man. Their small forward in PJ Tucker is pretty good. He just came off I think a 40-point game in 2 games ago.
And PJ Tucker kind of leads me right into what I was going to say, because PJ Tucker went to Texas a couple years ago. Mohamed Bamba looks like a perfect fit for the Phoenix Suns. He's supposed to go top 3, top 4.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big man. Obviously, I said the 7'8" wingspan earlier in the show. He's a guy Phoenix could slot in right away, and he's going to play well.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can see that. I think they also need a big man also because
he's your big man.
Yeah, and I think he'll be like a good replacement for Tyson Chandler because again he's a good rebounder, but he's getting old and we need like new players.
Well, Tyson Chandler's another guy. You need to shed his salary eventually. He's making a lot of money,
mm-hmm.
and he's kind of past his prime that he had with the New York Knicks a couple of years.
Right.
He was really good for the Knicks. He was a workhorse for them. He played so many games, and you saw the emotion he had on the court. He was always someone you wanted on your team and not to play against.
Yeah. Also, another player for the Suns I think can have a good season is Marquise Chris. He was drafted last year for the Phoenix Suns. I think he may have a better season as well.
Yeah, I mentioned Chris before, like I said, and he's the guy that's probably going to take the minutes that could have went to Greg Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Monroe probably will not get a role in the offense because of people like Chris. And I understand that. You're a young team. You don't want to slide in a veteran like Monroe. Andre Drummond, those kind of guys, they were great for the Pistons. And then when they leave the Pistons, they don't do well. I don't get it. Drummond's still on the Pistons, but he's the same as that kind of mold as Monroe, if you know what I'm trying to get at.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Monroe is still being efficient on the boards as well. He's averaging like almost.
He's not what he used
points.
to be.
But he's still averaging like over 18 boards, and he's averaging 18 boards a game. That's crazy.
When Greg Monroe came out of Georgetown, he was supposed to be the next big thing. That never actually happened.
Okay. I guess so. I mean, I think he's I think his free throw percentage is actually getting better. He shot like 38% from the free throw line. Now he's like 70. I think he's 75% now. So we definitely see him improving with his free throw shooting. I would like to see. Obviously, we'd like to see a lot more out of him, a lot more from the Detroit Pistons as well, because I think they're doing actually pretty well. To be honest, they're 8-3 right now. They're 8-3 right now in the conference. They're doing pretty well, playing really good basketball. So hopefully they continue that. They can continue that.
I'm going to give you a choice. The last team we cover here, it's either going to be the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 6-5 right now. Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins obviously been awesome, or Oklahoma City, who have been struggling. Russell Westbrook, Carmelo, and Paul George only 4-6 so far in the year.
I'm going to talk. Let's go with OKC because
that's the bigger story, probably.
I'm going to talk about them because it's. How do you? Okay, first of all, they lost to. I remember the game when they lost to the Jazz. How do you? First of all, how do you lose to the Jazz too? I mean, don't get me wrong. They have like a couple of players like Ricky Rubio, who's actually having a great season.
But when the Jazz lost Gordon Hayward, you thought they were going to be nothing.
Yeah, no, I did not know. I did not expect them to do that much this season because now they lost Gordon Hayward. But they got Ricky Rubio, who is having his best season so far. I think so far. Rodney Hood, who's a great shooter.
Yeah.
And then your defensive powerhouse in Rudy Gobert. So
Gobert is awesome.
Yeah, but the thing with the Thunder is that I actually don't even know. What do you think? Like, because what they should be better than they are right now. I have a
question for you about the Thunder, and I'm gonna give insight about it quickly. Russell Westbrook. The question is he too nice on the court? Is he? Because he's basically saying right now, I'm gonna take 5 shots. I'm gonna get Melo 5 shots. I'm gonna get George 5 shots. Let's send it in to Steven Adams. He could take 5 shots, and he's trying to evenly distribute the ball. And every time he does that, they lose because it's becoming predictable that he's going to get people their shots. When Russell Westbrook goes on the court and takes over a game, gets his triple-double, scores 30 to 40 points, they win. This is Russell Westbrook's team, and he needs to be meaner on the court. He needs to be angrier, and he needs to prove that he's the best player in basketball.
I know, but I understand that, but he has 3 stars on the team, including himself. It's kind of hard.
Look what happens when LeBron says, you know what, this is my team, and I'm going to take over. The Cavaliers win that game. When Russell Westbrook does that, they win that game. Basically, they're 4-0 this year when Westbrook has over 30 points. Every other game they play, they lose. When he's like, Carmelo, you could take some shots. Paul George, have fun. Jeremiah Grant, here's a shot for you. He's got to stop doing that.
I don't know. It's just... I mean, don't get me wrong. He wants his goal this. I think his goal this season is trying to spread the floor because he didn't have much. He didn't have that much help last year. He played the most. He played the most minutes.
But think about it. If he doesn't spread the floor and he starts driving and he starts doing his own things, then he's going to open up shots for other people because they're going to double and triple team him. They're going to leave Melo and George open. That's what you have to do.
Well, that's what you have to do because in order for them to make their shots, they're the ones. And I think Melo has a better role this year. The better role this year than he had.
But he's struggling like crazy.
I don't think so. I mean, it's just that he just gets more open shots. Because once he knows how to run the floor with Westbrook and Paul George, I think it'd be great for him to just leave him out on the 3-point line. Let him take his shots. If he has to go 1-on-1, let him do it. But still, I think they need a little bit more time. Honestly, they should be better. Honestly, I agree with you. They should be better than they are right now. But I don't know. It's just a learning process and a chemistry process that they have to do. I don't know. It's just like shocking to see them like doing this bad right now.
Yeah, and like I said, Russell Westbrook score 40, score 30. If you score 6 one game, but you're trying to take your shots, okay, whatever. Then you distribute.
Well, don't get me wrong. He's not the best shooter on the team, though. He's the only reason.
He might not be the best shooter on the team, but he's the best at creating shots for himself. There's not one other person on that team, maybe Paul George, maybe, that can create shots as well as him. Russell Westbrook can get around people. He can pull up from anywhere. He's that type of player, and he needs to be that type of player again. He needs to be the player that competed with James Harden all year for the MVP award last year. He's not that player right now.
I honestly agree with that, but still, like, look at the team compared from this year to last year. I
don't care who his teammates are. I want him to play how he did last year because that was successful for OKC, and the way you have it now, The guys you could dish the ball to, you could be even better if you keep that style of basketball.
So you want him to play? Do you want him to play more minutes, like 38 minutes a game?
I want him to be more selfish, and that doesn't sound good saying on the microphone, but that's what he has to do. If he is more selfish, it leads to shots for other people. People cover him more. The one-on-one, man-to-man defense is not going to work for OKC. But when LeBron takes over a game, they win. Russell Westbrook's the same thing. He's got to do that.
Yeah.
You see, James Harden, the Rockets are 8-2 right now. Even though Chris Paul's hurt, they have new guys on that team. James Harden is still taking over games. He had over 50 points the other week.
Yeah, that's true.
James Harden knows what he's doing. He's getting his team wins. Russell Westbrook is not.
I don't know. It's just tough to see that too. Like come on. You have all this firepower, and you can't even win games against the Kings too.
Yeah.
They just lost to the Kings 86-94.
Well,
like come on. Like
bottom line, OKC has a lot of things to work out. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals tonight. Drew Stanton, Russell Wilson. We'll be back.